Welcome to Man at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we call the daily Bible reading our spiritual manna. This daily manna nourishes our souls and fosters spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Thursday, March the 6th, 2025, marks the second day of our Lenten journey. The reading for the lectionary is taken from the New Testament book of Acts. We enter the courtroom in Jerusalem as Stephen, a Jewish convert and a new follower of Jesus, stands before the religious leaders. He faces fabricated charges claiming that the followers of Jesus aim to destroy the religious buildings and alter the customs and laws that were passed down by the revered prophet Moses. We begin the lectionary reading from Acts chapter 7, verses 30 to 34, just before Stephen, the follower of Jesus, is condemned and stoned to death. He requests, though, that he be granted the opportunity to respond to the charges. And Stephen begins this long recount of the story of Moses' initial encounter with God. Moses, the adopted grandson of a pharaoh in Egypt, has been working for the past 40 years as a shepherd for his father-in-law. And while he's strolling through the desert, focusing on his own affairs, he finds himself distracted. A bush is on fire in the dry and barren desert. Nothing unusual in such an environment, but the flames are not consuming this burning bush. Moses can't resist. He approaches to see what is happening. An angel appears within the flames of the burning bush. By that time, Moses is trembling and unable to look away, but he hears a voice saying, "Take off your sandals. You are standing on holy ground." The voice continued, "My people are suffering in Egypt. They're crying out for help, and I have heard their groanings. I'm ready to free them. I need you to do this. I am sending you back to Egypt to tell Pharaoh to let my people go." That concludes today's lectionary reading. Only those 5 verses. So here are some questions. Why is Moses in the desert in the first place? He's in the desert searching for his father-in-law's lost sheep and hiding as a fugitive from the Egyptian authorities because he killed an Egyptian man 40 years earlier. But Moses is a skilled desert dweller, capable of evading the Egyptian and also those in his birth family who have been searching for him. However, Moses cannot hide from God, and his journey through the desert was no mere accident. Yeah, the burning bush astonished him. Then he heard a familiar voice that he recognized, though it had been dormant in his heart for the past 40 years. It was the voice of the Lord reminding him, that God, the God of his ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was still the same. Where did Moses learn the stories of his ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? He learned them from his mother while he was nursing at her breast. She told him he was a special child and that one day he would be the one to deliver God's people from the slavery they were presently enduring in Egypt. Moses' birth mother had to give him up for adoption to Pharaoh's daughter, who heard a baby crying when she was at the river. And since she had no baby of her own and she longed for a baby, and since she had no milk to feed a baby, she needed to find a woman who had breast milk. A clever 6-year-old girl who had been watching her baby brother lying in a basket in the river offered to find a nursing Israelite mother for Pharaoh's daughter. She ran home and brought back her own mother, Moses' birth mother. Pharaoh's daughter had gone for a spa bath in the same river, but was distracted by the sound of a crying baby. That afternoon, she returned home to her father's house, to Pharaoh's house, with an Israelite baby boy. And while he nursed at the breast of his birth mother, she told him stories of his ancestors. Although Moses referred to Pharaoh's daughter as his mother, he recognized that his true family consisted of his birth mother, his sister, and his brother. 40 years later, Moses stands here, barefoot on holy ground, before the God his mother taught him about since he was a 3-month-old baby. Moses was fleeing from Egypt and Pharaoh because he resorted to violence in an attempt to liberate the Israelites. He had killed an Egyptian man. Now, God was calling Moses to return to Egypt. This time, Moses would utilize the skills he acquired in the desert. He was now a shepherd, with his only weapon, his staff, and the words of God. God promised Moses that he would soon return to this exact spot, the spot where he saw the burning bush. But this time, he would not be alone. The descendants of his ancestors, who were now enslaved and suffering in Egypt, would be freed, and they would come to this same place to learn about the God who liberated them. Please join me on Friday, March the 7th, the third day of our Lenten journey, for more stories about Moses. And if you enjoy my storytelling, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.